Welcome to Jersey Reads the Classics, an audiobook podcast delving into the finest works of our literary masters. Unfortunately, it's read by this woman.
What the hell? Who cares? Let's go on an adventure. Hello, and welcome back to Jersey Reads the Classics with your host, me, Rosie D. Candia. So, my friends, we are coming into the home stretch. Yes, we are on chapter 10, and there are only 12 chapters in our book. I know. Parting is such sweet sorrow because I'm really enjoying Alice and her little adventures. But before I go any further, I just wanted to say today I wanted to feel like a rock star. I'm all about frugal fashion because I buy everything secondhand, Goodwill, and all that. Fun facts about me. I actually have an account on Instagram called The Frugal AF Fashionista, and everything is Goodwill or secondhand shops or thrift shops. And today I was like, I'm gonna feel like a rock star. I'm wanting to feel like. So I think, just a suggestion. Sometimes it's good to put on an outfit or the way you want to feel. Put on that outfit that makes you feel like that, because that is what you exude to the world. You see, that's a fun fashion tip for you. Okay. So before anything, just a reminder, I don't do recaps. That's on the podcast. And thank you again, who's ever there right now, rejoining me. Okay, so we're going to go back to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Ooh. And, just so you know, the glare. I try not to do the glare things. That's why I'm always reading to the side. I should have addressed it before. But you know what? I can't help the glare thing. I tried lighting and all that stuff. So I'm just using daylight right now. And plus, I'm a one-woman show. And this is just how it's going to be. All right. So, Chapter 10. The Lobster Quadrille. Now, I think it's Quadrille or Quadrille. It could be either one because I heard the pronunciation via the YouTube. And I don't know. Okay. The Mock Turtle sighed deeply and drew the back of one flap of across his eyes. He looked at Alice and tried to speak, but for a minute or two, sobs choked his voice. Same as if he had a bone in his throat, said the Gryphon, and it set to work shaking him and punching him in the back. At last, the Mock Turtle recovered his voice, and with tears running down his cheeks, he went on again. Oy, where is this going? I mean, I knew that he might be a little depressed, but let's see how this is going to turn out for all of them. You may not have lived much under the sea. I haven't, said Alice, and perhaps you were never even introduced to a lobster. Alice began to say, I once tasted, but checked herself hastily and said, no, never. Ooh, Alice is learning. Remember with the whole mouse and the cat and the birds and the cat? So Alice is learning not to offend people and not talk about things that she shouldn't be talking about. Good on you, Alice. So you can have no idea what a delightful thing a lobster quadrille is. No, indeed, said Alice. What sort of a dance is it? Why, said the Gryphon, you first form into a line along the seashore. 2 lines, cried the Mock Turtle. Seals, turtles, salmon, and so on. Then, when you've cleared all the jellyfish out of the way, that generally takes some time, interrupted the Gryphon. You advance twice. Each with a lobster as a partner, cried the Gryphon. Of course, the Mock Turtle said. Advance twice, set to partners, change lobsters, and retire in the same order, continued the Gryphon. A quadrille, which I don't think I knew what it was, is a dance of some sort, which I'm assuming you've all realized that's exactly what it is. It's a dance amongst the lobsters in them, in the creatures of the sea. Okay. Then, the Mock Turtle went on. You throw the lobsters, shouted the Gryphon with a bound into the air, as far out to sea as you can. Swim after them, screamed the Gryphon. Turn a somersault in the sea, cried the Mock Turtle, capering wildly about. Change lobsters again, yelled the Gryphon at the top of its voice. Back to land again, and that's all the first figure, said the Mock Turtle, suddenly dropping his voice. And the 2 creatures who had been jumping about like mad things sat down again very sadly and quietly and looked at Alice. It must be a very pretty dance, said Alice timidly. Would you like to see a little of it, said the Mock Turtle. Very much indeed, said Alice. Come, let's try the first figure, said the Mock Turtle to the Gryphon. We can do without lobsters, Which shall sing? Oh, you sing, said the Gryphon. I've forgotten the words. Okay, I have no idea what to expect. So I think this is quite interesting that they got very excited, though, about this dance, which I'm happy for them. But it seems like they're both very depressed. You see how the depression can spread? I mean, the Mock Turtle's got his tales of woe that he was talking about last chapter, and he's just kind of a depressed figure. That's, like, I don't know. So, like, it seems like the Gryphon also has fallen to that. Maybe they're those kind of friends, you know, that are there to be depressed together. Except when the Lobster Quadrille or Quadrille is on. Okay. So they began solemnly dancing round and round Alice, every now and then treading on her toes when they passed too close, and waving their forepaws to mark the time, while the Mock Turtle sang this very slowly and sadly. "Will you walk a little faster?" said a whiting to a snail. "There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance? They are waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance? Will you? Won't you? Will you? Won't you? Will you join the dance? Will you? Won't you? Will you? Won't you? Won't you join the dance? You can really have no notion how delightful it will be when they take us up and throw us with the lobsters out to sea." But the snail replied, too far, and gave a look askance. Said he thanked the whiting kindly, but he would not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not join the dance. "What matters it how far we go?" his scaly friend replied. "There is another shore, you know, upon the other side. The farther off from England, the nearer is to France. Then turn not pale, beloved snail, but come and join the dance. Will you? Won't you? Will you? Won't you? Will you join the dance? Will you? Won't you? Will you? Won't you? Won't you join the dance?" Oh my God. That's one long-ass song. That's all I'm going to say. And imagine hearing that from a depressed Mock Turtle. "Thank you. It's a very interesting dance to watch," said Alice, feeling very glad that it was over at last. "And I do so like that curious song about the whiting." "Oh, as to the whiting," said the Mock Turtle, you've seen them, of course." "Yes," said Alice. "I've often seen them at She checked herself hastily. "I don't know where Din may be," said the Mock Turtle. "But if you've seen them so often, of course you know what they're like." "Dinner, you got that." "I believe so," Alice replied thoughtfully. "They have their tails in their mouths, and they're all over crumbs." "You're wrong about the crumbs." Of course she's wrong about the crumbs, because guess what? She's seeing whiting when they're served for dinner. So, yeah, good thing she didn't say dinner, but he didn't pick that up. "Crumbs would all wash off in the sea, but they have their tails in their mouths, and the reason is," here the Mock Turtle yawned and shut his eyes. "Tell her about the reason and all that," he said to the Gryphon. "The reason is," said the Gryphon, "that they would go with the lobsters to the dance, so they got thrown out to sea. So they had to fall a long way, so they got their tails fast in their mouths, so they couldn't get them out again. That's all." "Thank you," said Alice. "It's very interesting. I never knew so much about a whiting before." Nor I. But I do like whitings. I'm not going to lie, I'm a pescatarian, and I don't eat fish often. That's just another fun fact about me. But I've been vegan, raw vegan, all that stuff. Pescatarian now, but not often enough. But right now, who knows? "I can tell you more than that if you like," said the Gryphon. "Do you know why it's called a whiting?" "I never thought about it," said Alice. "Why?" "It does the boots and shoes," the Gryphon replied very solemnly. Alice was thoroughly puzzled. "As am I." "Does the boots and shoes?" she repeated in a wondering tone. "Why, what are your shoes done with?" said the Gryphon. "I mean, what makes them so shiny?" Alice looked down at them and considered a little bit before she gave her answer. "They're done with blacking, I believe." "Boots and shoes under the sea," the Gryphon went on in a deep voice, "are done with a whiting. Now you know." That's kind of funny. The boots and shoes, like humans use it, and we use the black polish, and whitings are the ones that cleans the boots and the shoes under the sea. You're very witty, Liz Carroll. This whole chapter, even though it started off in a depressed tone, seems to have turned out to be even more witty banter amongst these little Mock Turtle and Gryphon and Alice. I actually am enjoying this chapter. There's a lot of wit to it. Thank you, Lewis Carroll, for the play on words. "And what are they made of?" Alice asked in a tone of great curiosity. "Soles and eels, of course," the Gryphon replied rather impatiently. "Any shrimp could have told you that." "If I'd been the whiting," said Alice, whose thoughts were still running on the song, I'd have said to the porpoise, "Keep back, please. We don't want you with us." They were obliged to have him with them, the Mock Turtle said. No wise fish would go anywhere without a porpoise. "Wouldn't it really?" said Alice in a tone of great surprise. "Of course not," said the Mock Turtle. "Why, if a fish came to me and told me he was going on a journey, I should say, 'With what porpoise?'" "Don't you mean purpose?" said Alice. "I mean what I say," the Mock Turtle replied in an offended tone, and the Gryphon added, "Come, let's hear some of your adventures." Oh my God, that's hysterical. So they bring the porpoise because no fish goes on a journey without a porpoise, but she's saying you mean purpose. This is funny. And soles and eels for boots and shoes instead of soles and heels. I have to tell you, this is so witty. Of course children don't understand this. I mean, yes, I get it, the adult wrote it. But honestly, people, pull the book out and read it. Chapter 10, it's all the play on words. It's all the play on words. Okay. "I could tell you my adventures beginning from this morning," said Alice a little timidly, "but it's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then." "Explain all that," said the Mock Turtle. "Yeah, Alice, explain all that." No, the adventures first," said the Gryphon in an impatient tone. "Explanations take such a dreadful time." So Alice began telling them her adventures from the time when she first saw the white rabbit. She was a little nervous about it just at first. The two creatures got so close to her, one on each side, and opened their eyes and mouths so very wide. But she gained courage as she went on. Her listeners were perfectly quiet till she got to the part about her repeating, "You are old, Father William," to the caterpillar, and the words all coming different. And then the Mock Turtle drew a long breath and said, "That's very curious." "It's all about as curious as it can be," said the Gryphon. As Alice keeps always saying throughout the book, it's more and more curiouser and curiouser. I have to say, I just want to remark on the fact that Alice is also realizing she is not the same person as yesterday. And why is that? Because she has stepped out of a comfort zone and she's gone down a rabbit hole and gone on an adventure. We will talk about that a little bit more in the woo-woo section. Okay. "It all came different," the Mock Turtle repeated thoughtfully. "I should like to hear her try and repeat something now. Tell her to begin." He looked at the Gryphon as if he thought it had some kind of authority over Alice. "Stand up and repeat. 'Tis the voice of the sluggard," said the Gryphon. How the creatures order one about and make one repeat lessons, thought Alice. I might as well be at school at once. However, she got up and began to repeat it. But her head was so full of the lobster quadrille that she hardly knew what she was saying, and the words came very queer indeed. "'Tis the voice of the lobster," I heard him declare. "You have baked me too brown. I must sugar my hair. As a duck with its eyelids, so he with his nose trims his belt and his buttons and turns out his toes. When the sands are all dry, he is gay as a lark, and will talk in contemptuous tones of the shark. But when the tide rises and sharks are around, his voice has a timid and tremulous sound." "That's different from what I used to say when I was a child," said the Gryphon. "Well, I never heard it before," said the Mock Turtle, "but it sounds uncommon nonsense." Alice said nothing. She had sat down with her face in her hands, wondering if anything would ever happen in a natural way again. "I should like to have it explained," said the Mock Turtle. "She can't explain it," said the Gryphon hastily. "Go on with the next verse." "But about his toes," the Mock Turtle persisted. "How could he turn them out with his nose, you know?" I mean, the Mock Turtle is paying attention. I mean, he seems to be that he's very much into the details here. Some people just like the deets. He wants to know. He wants to know! "It's the first position in dancing," Alice said, but was dreadfully puzzled by the whole thing and longed to change the subject. "Go on with the next verse," the Gryphon repeated impatiently. "It begins, 'I passed by his garden.'" Alice did not dare to disobey, though she felt sure it would all come wrong, and she went on in a trembling voice. "I passed by his garden and marked with one eye how the owl and the panther were sharing a pie. The panther took pie crust and gravy and meat, while the owl had the dish as its share of the treat. When the pie was all finished, the owl, as a boon, was kindly permitted to pocket the spoon, while the panther received knife and fork with a growl, and concluded the banquet." What is the use of repeating all that stuff? The Mock Turtle interrupted. I agree with this Mock Turtle. I mean, we already know that she's like kind of in her own land, whatever. If you don't explain it as you go on, it's by far the most confusing thing I've ever heard. Yes, I think you'd better leave off, said the Gryphon, and Alice was only too glad to do so. Shall we try another figure of the lobster quadrille? The Gryphon went on. Or would you like the Mock Turtle to sing you a song? Oh, a song, please, if the Mock Turtle would be so kind. Alice replied so eagerly that the Gryphon said in a rather offended tone, no accounting for tastes. Sing her turtle soup, will you, old fella? The Mock Turtle sighed deeply and began in a voice sometimes choked with sobs to sing this. My God, what is the Mock Turtle so depressed about? I mean, they've done the Lobster Quadrille. She's listening to his boring-ass songs. What is he so depressed? My God, pass him a Xanax? No, not a Xanax. What is it? Give him some Prozac? I don't even know. Do something, please. Beautiful soup, so rich and green, waiting in a hot tureen. Who for such dainties would not stoop? Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, who cares for fish, game or any other dish? Who would not give all else for 2 pennyworth only of beautiful soup? Pennyworth of only beautiful soup? Beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful, beautiful soup. Chorus again, said the Gryphon. Oh, please, no more. And the Mock Turtle had just began to repeat it when a cry of, the trial's beginning. Thank God for the trial, whatever trial it is. Please get us out of here. Was heard in the distance. Come on, cried the Gryphon, and taking Alice by the hand, it hurried off without waiting for the end of the song. Thank God, thank God. What trial is it? Alice panted as she ran, but the Gryphon only answered, come on, and ran the faster, while more and more faintly came, carried on the breeze that followed them, the melancholy words, soup of the evening, beautiful, beautiful soup. Oh my God, now we've left the Mock Turtle alone. What is going to happen to that poor sap? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot going on between these two. They're totally like Heckle and Jekyll. I might have said that the last chapter, but they're living up to their like reputation. I mean, I do love how they fuel each other, and boy, do they fuel each other, huh? I'm gonna say this: they're definitely a cute comic relief. I'm wondering because I saw the cartoon very little bit, and there's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Now I don't know if that's in the Looking Glass book because I think it's a mashup of that and that. Are they like the Tweedledee and Tweedledum in this particular version, this particular book? But they are both out of control, but the Mock Turtle, somebody please help him. Get him some therapy because this obviously isn't working. I mean, he's getting an opportunity to sing, do the Lobster Quadrille. The Gryphon seems to be his good friend. But why would the Queen want her to go to hear the Mock Turtle's history? I mean, come on, Queenie. But I guess it's better hanging out with those two than the Queen. I said that previously. Okay, so on that note, there's a lot going on. But I will say for all of you, pick up the book or like read it online. That chapter is actually funny with the play on words. I do love the wittiness of the whole, like the porpoise, the purpose, soul and eels versus souls and heels. Very interesting, and using a whiting to clean the boots and shoes versus black polish. You know what I mean? Okay, so enough about that. All in all, it was an interesting chapter. Very cute, but I don't know what the trial is about. Do you finally think someone's going to get their head cut off? What's going to happen in the trial? Like, what has happened? So we don't know, and we're going to be going there. But now, let's get to the woo-woo, So what I think for me, what struck out and like really stuck out the most important for me is when Alice was asked to tell her adventure. And what I like about it is, she's like, I can tell my adventure from this morning because from yesterday, I'm completely a different person. And what I love about that is because Alice stepped out of her comfort zone and went down the rabbit hole and is on this adventure, she has become a different person. And I think that's important for all of us. So to think of the times when you stepped out of your comfort zone and gone for something else that you never would have done before, whether it's a hobby, a new career, a school, a class, whatever, and stepping out of your comfort zone. And then all of a sudden, like you wake up one day and you're like, wow, I'm totally not the same person I was a few days ago. ago or last month or last year. And that is the journey of our lives, my friends. We are here to grow. Believe it or not, we are here to grow and evolve and become a better version of ourselves. Now, with that being said, doesn't mean that you're not perfect, whole, and complete the way you are now, because I never think anybody is. I mean, listen, we all got shit to figure out. We all got shit to figure out for ourselves and the baggage. And that doesn't make us a bad person, okay? Because the point is this, you came here as a human being to have this experience, okay? So stop, don't go down on yourself. Don't sit in some sort of mock turtle depression over that shit. Be present, be here right now, and know that you're here to grow if you choose to, okay? And take advantage of whatever opportunities or things that you would like to do to help you grow. Now, with that being said, if you're journaling, journal. If you're not, that's fine too. But think about the things that you have been wanting to try, okay? Whether it's a new hobby, an online course, getting a degree online, doing something different that you wouldn't have thought about doing a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, you didn't have the chutzpah, but it's really burning in you and you've thought about it over time, but you just have put it aside and quieted it down and squelched it. Think about it, fuel it, write down things that, if you can right now do anything you want that bring you joy, and then try to see what you could do to get started. I know that we talked about this probably from the first chapter. This really is about your adventure. I just want to talk about that. Life is an adventure if you see it that way. All right, there are things that are going to have twists and turns. The road is not a straight line. It's not meant to be. The whole thing about when you go on a pathway, whether you're doing a trail, you go on a bike ride, the whole fun of it is, even a car ride, is when you go up and down, you go up a mountain and the roads are winding and you never know what's around the bend. It's like your life, my friends. We're all navigating this together. You are not alone on this, okay? This person doesn't have it figured out more than you. Everybody's just trying to navigate. What you can control is, in fact, who cares what they're doing? Because comparison is the thief of joy. Please don't compare yourself and your journey to anybody else, because that's all bullshit. That has nothing to do with you, all right? This is not a competition with other people. But the thing is this, if there are things that you want to do, now is the time to start fueling that. You have the choice, and that's what life is about. You have choices. Every day we get up, we choose to either be happy or sad, mad or content, peace-filled, and there are things that we can do to help us get into a better state of mind, all right? Also, you have a choice on where you put your energy, because remember, wherever your energy goes, that's where money and happiness and bliss grows. So the whole thing is now, take this time, go within and see what adventure you want to go on next. It doesn't make a difference if you're doing it right here, right now. It's not about that. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone, because growth can only happen when you step out of your comfort zone, okay? And I'm just going to let you know, I'm doing this podcast all by myself. And I don't know who's watching, and if there's no one watching, it doesn't give a shit. I'm doing it because Spirit said, do it. And I'm doing it because it actually brings me joy. I like reading to people, I like entertaining, and I just like being me. And I think I'm enough and I'm worthy of it. And if I don't put myself out there, me sitting in my apartment waiting for an agent or a manager that I don't have at the moment, or someone to try to discover me, that's just a waste of my time and energy. I'm taking my time and energy and putting towards something that, you know what, I kind of feel like put my energy towards something that brings me joy. And when that happens, I raise my vibration and frequency. We talked about this a few chapters ago, and that's when the universe can give you what you deserve or want. So my friends, when is the right time to start that thing that scares you? If not now, when? All right? Because there's enough shit in the world today that's scary enough. So stop it. Stop giving into the fear of even your own mind. Don't buy into it. It's bullshit. Your ego's trying to scare you to stay the same, but you did not come here to stay the same. You came to grow. You came to flourish and be the best version of you. All right? On that note, you can tell I'm very, very passionate about that. I want you to know that you already are enough and worthy. And the thing is this, when you truly know that you are enough and worthy, you don't have fear. You know what you say? I'm going to go right in there. I'm going to strap on my big boy, big girl pants, and I'm going to do it because I'm worth it and I'm enough and I don't care what anybody else thinks. Who the fuck gives a shit what anybody else thinks? You don't need anyone to tell you that your dreams aren't real, that your dreams are unattainable. No. And stop that recorder in your head. It's not real. That thing that tells you you can't, you're not worthy, you're not enough. Who am I to think I can't have it? Yeah, you can have it. All right? You can. All right, my friends. I am sending you lots of love and light and peace and joy and hopefully some inspiration. Go out there. Be you. Be the better version of you. Be the best you because you're already enough. All right? Wishing you lots of love, a lot of peace, light, bliss, and all that good stuff. And you know what? I'll see you on the next chapter. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It's been a really good journey, I gotta say. It's been lovely going down this adventure with you. I might get a little teary-eyed, so I'm not gonna right now. Okay, my friends, you stay amazing, and go follow your dreams. Do it now. Do it now. If not now, when?